Sawubona Mzansi, and welcome to tonight's live. So I'll jump into it again. So a recap on. Wait, give me 1 second. Yes, I'm back. So a recap on what we did in last week's live. So I think the last time we went live was on Wednesday. Thursday there were some issues that we were facing. We were driving and we were stuck in traffic, so I couldn't make it back in time to start the live for you guys. And my phone was dead, so I couldn't. And I was driving, so I couldn't go live from my uh, from my phone because I was the one driving. But a quick recap on that is in last week's live, we showcased the new text fields. So those new text fields are just a place for you to input like text information. So that's numbers, letters, passwords, username, emails, all of those kind of things. It comes in with a built-in validation. So it makes things a little bit easier for us when we are utilizing this text input field across MIH. So we did that, we showcased what it looks like. I'll get into that later. Just let me know in the chat. I see there's one person there on TikTok. Am I sounding clear? Am I sounding crispy? You can just tap the screen if you want to, and we'll see what that sounds like. Then, yes, we showcased what it looks like inside MIH. Then we reviewed an article that shows what's the best practice for creating a UI or for creating a drop-down field or in terms of UI and UX. So we'll go through that article again. And we'll see what's that. So let's start that off now. So I'll flip my screen over on TikTok, and I'll do that to YouTube also, and we'll see what that's all about. Let's go a little bit back and flip this. So this is the article. You can see it's speaking about drop-down cheat sheet, a practical guide for UI and UX designers. So this is specifically for the drop-down sheets, right? Then, so we went through the intro. I'll just go through what each point is telling us. So the first one is, if you have fewer than 5 options, it shouldn't be a drop down. It should rather be a radio button selection. The reason being is when you have a drop down, it takes 2 clicks in order to select an option. But if you have a radio button selection, it will only take 1 click for the user. So that's the kind of optimization that they are talking about over here, and the user experience that they're speaking about. So I'll open that up, so you'll see if it's fewer than 4 options or fewer than 5 options, we should not have a drop down. We should rather have a radio button selection. If we scroll down again, then we'll see that number 2 is binary choices. So if you have a drop-down field like notification on and off, or a yes or no section. I know in MIH we have a few yes or no sections. We shouldn't use a drop-down because once again it's 2 clicks in order to enable something, 2 clicks to disable something, whereas if we use a toggle it's just 1 click. So that's the improvement we also made in MIH. If we scroll down to the bottom, large lists should be searchable. So we haven't yet improved on the drop-down field. We are just improving alternatives to the drop-down at the moment. So make it searchable if it's quite long. We do have something like that. Numeric input, we did cater for something like this. So we currently do have a number input. If we have a look at this, we do have the number input, which is on the far right hand side, just over here. And that we created that with our text input field previously. But a good point that they made over here is instead of someone clicking and then typing the number that they want, like if they want to, instead of clicking and then deleting and typing 2 or just typing 2, rather have they call this a stepper. So you can just click the plus to increase the value or click the minus to decrease the value. So I'll showcase what that looks like inside MIH. If we scroll down, then we have a date picker. We haven't done this yet inside MIH. We have I think that's everything for now. So now let's open up MIH and see exactly what the changes that we made are. So if you've seen the video today, this is just the text package. So we are on MIH, what is this? The development environment at the moment. So what you see now over here is not exactly what you're going to see inside MIH because it's not live yet. So if we look here, this is version 1.1.9. If we have a look at the production version of MIH and click on about MIH, you'll see that this version is 1.1.8. So the development environment is 1.1.9, and that's what I'm going to showcase to you today. So if we open up our test package, this is where we try out different things that we're working on. We see that we have the number stepper. This number stepper is, we can either increase the value by clicking on the plus or decrease the value by also clicking on the plus. If we go below a certain minimum value, so we are able to set that, it'll tell you that the number needs to be greater than or equals to 1. But if you increase that, if we set let's open this up to the test package. If we set a maximum value, say for example, I set the maximum value to, if I set the maximum value to 5 for our MIH number stepper, which is what you see on the screen right now, we'll see that. So let's minimize this. If I increase it past 5, it shows us that the number needs to be less than or equal to 5. So let me know what you think of that error messaging. Does the error messaging make sense or not? You can just tap the screen to let me know if you like that. So if we go below our minimum value, it'll tell us value has to be greater than or equal to that minimum value. In our case, it's 1. If we increase that and go past our maximum value, it'll tell us that the value must be less than or equal to the certain value. So there's a bug over here that I need to fix. Let's go to here. Let's go to the bottom. Visibility, this is it over here. So if the current value is less than the minimum value, or if this is less than this or this, you do this, or insert, or we'll just have the same thing again. If we go all the way back, follow the, thank you so much trolls for following. Let's yank this and go all the way to the front, paste this. Less than or equal to. You know what, I will fix that later. I have to think about that. I have to think about it a little bit more, so I won't do that now. So if we go back to the thingy, this is what it will look like. Let me make a note of that bug, sorry. Bug. Max value, alignment. Max value alignment. So I have that set up. So that's the number stepper field. To showcase where we use that inside MIH, if we go to our patient manager under the business side of MIH and we open up a patient's profile to their medical records, and we go and generate a prescription document, then you'll see that this has completely changed. It's no longer a drop-down field with a large list of numbers for you to select from. You can now select whatever value you want just by using the number selector. And also our medicine search. If we search for a specific medicine and press enter, it'll search our medicines and it'll provide it for us over here. Let's close this. So this is the number stepper in action inside MIH. Let me know what you think. You can just tap the screen if you like it. If you don't like it, you can leave the screen. You don't have to tap anything. And we'll move on to the next one. So the next one that is available is the toggle. So it's just this one over here where you can toggle something on or off, right? That's basically all it does, and it's following the principles shown to us by this one over here. So if it's a binary option, we use a toggle to we use a toggle instead of a drop down with only two options. So that's the toggle. The one place where we utilize this inside MIH is the Mzansi profile in order to activate your business account or not. So this is the brand new toggle. I know it looks the exact same as what it looked like previously, but it's much better because I can reuse this across MIH. And I'll show you another place where we utilize this. If we close this and open up our patient profile, you'll see that at the bottom of the screen where it says medical aid, it's on. It's currently on, and we can see this. We can see that our toggle is there. It's currently disabled because we're not in edit mode over here. But if we click on the menu button and click on edit profile, you'll see that we have our drop down field. So if we click on it, it'll make things disappear if you don't have medical aid. If we click on it again, it'll make things appear for you. And then we have our medical aid main member, which is the exact same thing. It's just a toggle. It's a yes or no option on our side. So that's the toggle showcased inside MIH. Let me know what you think of the new toggle input field inside MIH. Is it something that you guys like? Should we improve it in some kind of way, or is everything fine? And also let me know what you think of the audio at the moment. I'm using a new microphone on TikTok, so let me know what you think. And then next we have if we go back, next we have the radio button. So this is what we are currently working on. It's not all the way complete yet. We still have a few things that we have to do, but this is following the principles over here of this one over here. Fewer than 5 options, avoid drop downs, right? So if I have something that's less than 5 drop downs, I shouldn't be a drop down field. It should just be a radio selection. Sawubona from TikTok. So this is the radio button. So you'll see it just has option 1, option 2, that you can either click on the wording themselves and select them, or click on the radio buttons themselves to select the option. And we haven't entered this into MIH across all the different packages yet, because we just started working on it towards the end of the day, like in the afternoon today. So one place where we did include this is under the patient manager. If we go to a patient's record, and if we try and generate a claim or a statement. So if we click on generate claim or statement, you'll see at the top of the screen, it has either document type, a claim or statement. The only thing that I don't like about this one at the moment is the spacing in between the options. I guess the spacing is there for fat fingers like mine on like the mobile phones and things. But I feel like there's a little bit too much space there, and I'll just have to figure out how exactly do I remove this space. But that's what it currently looks like. I can select the type of document over here. Very quickly, one click, it allows me to select an option instead of me clicking the drop down and then clicking the option itself. So a good showcase of this would be the service description, right? So you'll see that the service type, I just changed the name of it, has the same options, consultation, procedures, and other. However, the drop down has the same thing. So if I wanted to switch this service type from consultation to procedure using the new radio button, I can just click on that and it automatically takes me there. If I click on consultation, it automatically takes me there. So you can see how it's just by one click, it allows me to select the options that I need to select. Right? If I click on other, okay, I need to fix I need to fix what this one does. But if I click on any of these options, you'll see that it's one click instead of, if I click over here, if I click here, it's two clicks in order to change options, right? So I can understand what they were saying where we need one click. What I was thinking about these, the radio button field is maybe I need like a box around this thing, not like an outline box, but something similar to like procedure name, just on the background of this, and then I can change the color of these things to maybe a darker color, because I don't like how bland it's looking at the moment. I like it if I like how these are standing out in the screen, all of these input fields. So I wanted to align to something similar to this. But that's something that is not really a requirement or a need at the moment. We're just trying to get the best possible user experience for you guys. So that's the fields that we are currently using. So if we go back, you see the bugs, guys. It's not 100% at the moment. What is this? It's not empty. It's not 100% at the moment. We're still testing it out, but I just wanted to get your opinion on the look and feel of these new input fields that we are utilizing. So the stepper, the toggle, and the radio button. They all have they all have specific functions that we would like to do inside MIH. What was I previously working on? So, if I have a look here, numerical stepper. Okay, I was just changing the font size of some of these things. So let's see how we can. Let's see how we can utilize or fix this issue that we are facing inside the numeric picker, because that's something that is bothering me and we'll have to think about it. But this is more logical, so please let me know if you have a solution in mind. So the problem that I'm facing at the moment, which shouldn't be a huge thing to fix, is if I have a maximum value set and I increase my stepper past that maximum value, you see the plus and minus move down. So it's to do with these over here, and it's to do with these over here, and I just need to have a different value like this in place in order to showcase it. So let's do that now. So if I say or and then underscore current value, let's say current value is greater than the widget dot, what is this, max value, something like this. It should work, hopefully. Or let's see. So yeah, you can see it fixed it over here, the plus sign. So what we did was, I'll show you the difference between the two. So if we remove this, let me delete this. So I only had this inside. The check that it was doing to make a little spacer available is if my current value, so the current value inside my text input field, is less than the minimum value that I specified. And then it was only checking minimum value. But what we needed to do is check for the maximum value. So we have to check if the current value is greater than the maximum value, then we need to make this little spacer visible. So it looks like it's working. Let's yank this. Let's paste it here. Where would it be? Where would it be? Where would it be? I think I'm scrolling a little bit too fast. So visible. There's it here. So all I have to do is paste this in here. And if we go test it out again, our things should be aligned properly. So now it doesn't matter what value is entered. Everything should be aligned. So something is moving, so something is not aligned. This is 21. This is 20. If we go back, let's check it out. So this is the small nitty-gritty things that I get up to. That's kind of tedious to work with, but it's extremely important when it comes to users. Yeah, so everything is looking fine now. So you see we fixed that bug. So if we go less than our value, it's saying that our value must be greater than or equal to our minimum value that we set ourselves. If we increase that and go past our maximum value, it tells us value must be less than or equal to our maximum value. So this is the new stepper inside MIH. So we are using it across multiple places inside MIH. And hopefully this will increase or improve the user experience. So the next thing that I would like to do is try and put that box around this radio button. Just the options over here, and see if that makes a difference to things, right? So in order to do that, we'll go to our MIH radio button options. So let me know if you have any questions in the chat of what we're doing, what we're getting up to, or anything like that. So we are now updating our radio button to showcase or to have a box behind the text or the options that we are selecting, right? So let's see how we can do that. Let's see how we can do that. And I can't even ask AI, or I can ask AI, but I can't use that code completion thing, so I might be a little bit slower than usual. So display options is here. Then gesture detector, control dot. Box decorations. I feel like cheating and this asking AI to assist with that. So let's start a new chat with AI. So you can see when you're using Copilot on VS Code, it automatically puts the file that you're looking at. But what I want to do is also put in another file to make it a little bit better. So I'm going to say, please, can you enclose the display radio button options in a container similar to the text form field. So let's see what AI has to say for this. So since we gave both information to it, it should be able to assist us with this. So full color, radio button map. Okay, so this looks interesting. Why did they put a column around it? So I don't think we need a column. I don't know why they added a column over here. Column container material. So let's try add that to our button. So return this, nope. Return this, nope. So over here, what I'll do is control dot, and I'll just follow this thing. So they're saying put a column in, And then on top of the column, we're going to put a container. And the container has this properties over here. So I'm just going to copy it. I'm going to yank this. Oh, and then I'll paste this in for us. Let's see what the issue is. Container. Oh, I'm a fool. Sorry, let me switch these. Swap with parent. And I'm gonna delete 3 down. And then what happened? So around the column, control dot needs to be the container. Alright, so we have our container, and then we need to put the material. So control dot, we'll add a widget in. And sorry, let me check, is there any questions for me? Then what we'll do is we'll change this. We'll change this to material. And there's some properties that we need to put in. Let's yank that. Oh, paste. But there's definitely other things that needs to happen also. So let's see. Let's see what it's saying. Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting. Why did it duplicate things, guys? Gesture detector, this. What are my radio options? So I think all of this to this container. Delete it. Let's see what the error is. Okay, so over here what we need to do is insert that in. It should be fine, but the problem should be, yeah, there's it over here, that these things are okay, I know what the issue is. I know what the issue is. So we need to take this container. You have so many containers. Control dot, remove this. So what we're doing, so sorry, I'm bad at explaining this, but what happens is I'm putting the box around each individual list item and not the actual, let me do this full color, and not the actual thingy. Undo, not the actual, sorry, let me think of the word, and not around all of them. I'm putting it around each individual one instead of all of them, right? So let's add a new property in, and we're gonna call this property, let's swap this out, secondary full color, and then let's paste this in. And let's change this to secondary full color. Cool. So now that we have a secondary full color, let's change this so it's here. So let's yank 2 down, and let's paste that in. And then change this to secondary full color. And the secondary full color will be primary color. Right? It's a little bit confusing now, but if you think about the primary and secondary colors when I'm using Mzansi Innovation Hub.of context of the theme, so the secondary color is the light blue, the primary color is the darker color, the darker bluish color. So if we go back here, now that we have this, if we go to our full, so this needs to change that word, we'll change this to secondary full color. And if we go to the bottom here, we'll change this to secondary full color. And what that should do for us is now make them visible. So let's go here. Interesting. Interesting, guys. Interesting. Interesting. Let's open it up again. Maybe it needs to refresh. Interesting. It's not doing it. So our secondary full color. Secondary full color. Secondary full color is the primary color. That's the color of our text over here. Why is it not working? Interesting, guys. Very interesting. Let's change this color first. Let me paste, and then I'll change this to this is colors.white. Colors dot white, just to make it a little bit visible for us. For now, we'll change it back to the full color later on. You see, it's not updating, which means for some reason, oh, there must be an error somewhere. There must be an error somewhere that we're not looking at. Yep, if we open up the terminal, we'll see our error. An easy way to find that error is if we have a look in VS Code, it gives us a red one. So if I open this up, and then let's close this over here. So let's yank one down, paste, and then change this to secondary full color. We'll change that to primary color. And there's another one at the top. Over here, we'll do the same thing. Yank one down, paste it, and we'll change this to secondary full color and the CW2 primary. Let's see if everything is working. Yeah, everything is working fine. So if we go back, it should be that color. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So now it's easy to show you the what's going on or what the error is. So I'll just show this. So it's easy to show what the error is. So if we go back to the not numeric stepper, the radio buttons, and we change this to, where is it? There's it here. We'll change this over here. Yeah, you'll see that I don't want it to look like this. I want a whole block around the input fields, right? So I'll click away from this, and maybe I should put it over here. A list of widgets. No, I shouldn't put it over here. I should. I'll show you now. So I'll copy this over here. I will yank this, and then I'll paste it here. Okay. I think we must just do it from scratch. It's alright, we can do it from scratch. Because it's definitely a little confusing. And we have the code over here, so it's not a problem. So remove this. So over here, we say control dot, or it returns a list of widgets. Returns a list of widgets. Returns a list of widgets. Sawubona. It's definitely not here, right? I don't want to put it here. I can put it there, but I don't have to. I don't want to. So let's put it over. Yeah, I'll put it around this thing over here. So we'll change this from a CW. We'll change it from a list of widgets just to a widget. Then we'll add a add a column around this maybe. We'll add a column around this, so insert here, return a column. We'll return a column. Thank you so much for the follow. We'll return a column with children. Oh, okay, I see what I need to do. So we'll remove this, we'll remove this, we'll remove this, and we'll remove this because it returns a string itself. And then at the end of this, we will put this, comma that maybe. Is that not right? The children. Wait, let's undo that. Wait, redo what we did. So we have our children, everything is looking fine until here, right? So if we, let's remove some of these things. I think this is what it was like before. So we have gesture detector over here, to list. And then, oh, sorry. Because we're not using the square brackets, we can just do that. And then save it. And then now over here, we don't need to put the 3 dots because this 3 dots inside Flutter means use a, or just append it to the list. To that list, add it to the list. Add a list to another list. That's what that 3 dots mean. So we'll look back at our code over here for that we got from Gemini. As a Gemini, yeah, we got it from Copilot. So after the column, we need to add a container. So that's what we'll do now. It's very easy to add. If you're using VS Code with Flutter, it's very easy to add things. All you have to do is press Control, and then if you're using Windows or Linux, press Control and then full stop. If not, then you can press Control, or I think on Mac it's Command and then dot. And then all we have to do is search for container wrap in widget. So you can see it wrapped in a container. Then I'll just yank 1, 2, 3, and 3 down. And then all I'll do is paste in the properties that we got from Copilot, right? So we have that in, that's our full color. And then we need to add another widget on the top, but because it's not on our list of fields over here, right, we'll just wrap it with a generic widget. Once we do wrap it with a generic widget, we'll change that to material to make it like have a shadow effect. In order to do that, I'll yank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yank 6 down, and then I'll paste in that properties. Something is not somethinging. Oh, that's the other problem. Delete this. So I added 2 containers in. Cool. So tap the screen, guys. Yes. Thank you so much, Jay. So this is what it's currently looking like. Why is it looking strange like this? Very interesting. What did I do? I was a fool, guys. I was a fool. I put it in the wrong place. So we'll add it back in. So column, row, yes, that's fine. We need to add it here to this column. So we'll add a container. Then we'll put our properties in. So we'll yank 3 down. 1, 2, 3 down. We'll paste that in. We'll add another widget in. Back CW material, and then yank 1 down. We'll paste that in. Now it should be how we expect it to be. Sorry. Now it should be what we expect it to look like. So this is what I was looking for a selection option. But you'll see that for some reason the radio button over here is not showing up when it's empty. So that's just probably a property that I'm missing somewhere. And so active colors, they'll probably be if we hover over this and have a look at the hints for us. So let's close this, close this. If we have a look at the hints for the radio option, we'll see that there should be an inactive color or some sort of color, or we'll just ask, so full color, active color. What is full color? So let's ask Gemini, or let's ask Copilot, since we're coding over here. We'll ask Copilot how to change the color of the radio when it's not selected. So we'll give it some time to check. So to change the color when it's unselected widget color. Theme of unselected widget color. Why is it like that? Hey, these people. So they say we must use this, but I feel like that's over engineering the things. But it's over engineering things, and I don't want to do it this way. This seems a little bit too complicated right now. Let's use Gemini from, if you look over here at the bottom of the screen, you'll see that we're using GPT 4.1, and these are the options available for us, and there's only Gemini 2.0 Flash, and this is a very old model, and I don't want to use that one. So what I'll do is let's copy this, Control A, Command A, copy. Let's open up Gemini. Open up a new chat and let's paste the code in and Shift Enter. I would like to change the color of the radio when the, what is this now? Dismiss. When it's not selected. Let's see what it has to say. I'm sure the code will be different. To change you need to set the unselected full color property in the radio widget. Let's see. Add an unselected full color. So I think this is the code over here. Let's copy it and see what it does for us. Alright, so that brings you over here. And if we paste this, paste this in. Widget.unselected. Let's see this. If material.if contains selected. You see, I don't like this because it's saying, please try this is decrepit. Isn't the use of decrepit number with the replacement? What is the replacement? Anyway. Full color, so this is unselected, secondary. Yeah, it needs to be secondary color over here. So if we remove this, delete this, we'll just see what it is. I don't like all of these scratching outs over here because it's basically telling us that this thing is, it's giving us old thingies to use. I don't know what the word is, but old methods to use. So if we open this up, yeah, so you can see it does have the field there now for us, but it's showing as a little gray color. And it's showing as a gray color. Why? You see, that's the problem with using code straight from like ChatGPT or all these other places. This is it. So let's delete this, full color, append, yeah. Oh. Yeah, I think that should be fine. Yeah. So what do you think? Is the radio drop down options a little bit better? Thank you so much for the likes. If so, in order to answer this, tap the screen or don't tap the screen, right? So we can see how much likes there are over there. So do you like what this new radio options look like compared to what was it like before without that background, the dark background over there? I'm liking it with this new background around it. It just makes things a little bit better. I'll show you an example of where it looks a little bit better. Where did I put it in? In the patient manager, in the patient's medical record, and when we create a claims or statement. So you can see he has it over here. Don't worry about the spacing and things, that will all get fixed. But this is what it will look like. It will have a whole block with all the options. I'm seeing the likes. I'm seeing the likes, so I'm guessing everyone is happy with this. Cool. So you see that bug over there. So that's something that we'll have to fix also. Something that we'll have to fix with this. What I want to do is change this over here. So clearly this material state properties dot resolve with color is not, so let's see what it says over here. It's basically saying that material state property is decrepit and shouldn't be used. Use widget state property instead. So let's try that. Oh, undo. So paste that in. So that works over here. So material state, let's check what it says. This thing is decrepit also. And we should use widget state instead of material state. That's important. So I think material state is just something very old. So let's copy that over. Oh my word, change inside word. Widget state. Widget state. There's it all the way at the bottom. And then I can just copy this. So around word. Paste the DW. Cool. So now that lines that telling us we're using the wrong things are all gone now. So everything is looking cool now. And if we go back just to see if everything is working fine again, let's bring this over. Touch the screen. Okay, let's go back to our test. And okay, yeah, there's it over here at the top. I feel like there should be a little bit more of a space, and I did use a specific spacing for this optional over here. So what we can do, just to add a little spacing over there, so we will insert constant sized box, and we're gonna have a height of 4. Delete this and put this here. Just to add a little spacing between the title itself and the options. So you see there's a little bit of spacing over here. It makes it look slightly better, but you would notice it if you were looking at it. So we have that over here. So what do you guys, I'm liking this new radio option. I'm gonna test that out, or I'm gonna fix the issues that we are facing tomorrow with this. But I'm liking the new radio option. I'm liking the new stepper that shows me the automatic validation over here. I'm liking the off and on toggle. It has a nice animation to it, and also the radio button. I think it makes things look a little bit better. Thank you so much, Zoe Low for the follow. So I'm liking what I'm seeing here. So we'll continue. We'll continue with it tomorrow. What I think I'm gonna do. Let me flip my camera. Let's flip the camera. So what I'm thinking is gonna happen is tomorrow I'm going to look across MIH to see where can we put in a stepper, where can we put in a toggle instead of a drop down like we have, and where can we put in the radio button. I know there are multiple places, but we have to change some things because sometimes when you click on this radio option, it triggers another field to be visible for you, right? And that field itself is also a radio option. So we must just look at how we can get that sorted out, and also the spacing in between the options of the radio buttons. I'm not too happy with what the options are looking like. We can, let's see, no, we can't fix it now. Or, yeah, let's try and fix it now. We'll continue for about maybe another 10 minutes or so, and yeah, we'll take it from there. So let's flip the screen over and flip this, and yes. So what I want to do is, and I think I did ask Copilot earlier, but there's a thing called, or there's a property called, if we scroll through this, it is something about padding. Active full overlay. You know what? Let's go to our old faithful and say, how do I remove spacing? Spacing between radio options. Sorry, TikTok is asking me if I'm a human again. So I'm just gonna select this thing. Okay, I passed. Happiness. So let's ask Gemini. Let's see. So I feel like this is over engineering the problem. This is definitely over engineering the problem. There is a thing called density, I think. Where's my history? So I'll come back to Copilot, and I know I have a history over here of, let's see, improving string issue, creating radio button list. Is it this one? Yeah, there's it over here. Do you see the contents padding? So if we yank this, and I'll put it in over here. Let's close Copilot. So it's over here in this option. That's why we weren't finding it earlier. Let's paste this. And then over here, what I'm going to do is, let's delete this. Let's change this to .0. So I want 0 padding at the moment. Undo. .0. I want 0 padding at the moment in this field. Yes, this. So there's no padding on the sides, but for some reason the top and bottom padding is the thing that I'm looking at. 5K likes. Yes, Jay, hook it up. Thank you so much, Mzansi, for the likes. We'll keep it moving. So you see, we got rid of the side paddings, but we didn't get rid of the vertical padding, and that's the problem. So horizontal padding. Let's say I want, so I'm going to continue with that chat over here. So you say I want the vertical padding to be removed. If it tells me the same thing, I think we'll have to do a little bit more investigations just to see. Current selection, full, okay. It's telling us over here. No vertical padding. Let's yank this, yank. And then let's paste it in. And let's see if it makes the difference that we're looking for. Oh. So the padding is still not there. I'm not too happy about that spacing over there, and I know exactly why. It's to do with this. It's because I'm using this list tile, and I think I should remove this list tile because it's not providing so much value to me. So what we would do is, let me come here, and then this would be a row. It would be a row, and then in this row, I will take this V, and then we'll go all the way down until our row, and I think our row is, or the radio, sorry, W is here. We'll copy that and then we'll paste it here, and we'll get rid of this. We'll get rid of this radio, and if we have a row, and if we control dot remove, we can't even remove this, boring. We'll have to do it manually. So row, and then let's delete these two. Interesting. Row gesture detector, row gesture detector, row gesture detector, column, row. What is the error? Expected this. If I put that in, now it's telling me it expects this. Okay. Happiness. Happiness, happiness, happiness. Okay, yeah. So it's looking a little bit. Now we are fully in control. We are fully in control of these options over here. And I'll tell you what I mean by that, right? So let's see if I can make this look a little bit better for us instead of minimizing and maximizing all these things. Yeah. So if we look at our code, let's bring this over. If we look at our, which one were we working on? Not numeric, not. What were we working on, guys? It was the options, radio options, radio options. Did this thing close? Hectic. Is it here? Yeah, so here's our radio options. So now we are fully in control of where we place all of these items on the screen instead of using that other one. So the thing that we can do is we'll just wrap this around with a expanded to expand the borders of this thing, and now you can see that it is there, or that it put it at the end. And then what we can do is over here we'll just add another size box of like size 10 or something. So a const size box of width, let's say 10 for now, right? Let's delete this and put this back. And now it's looking a little bit different. Let's see if the functionality is still working. Yep, it's still working. So everything is looking fine. So I think let's stop over there, else we're gonna code forever. You know, when you're in the zone and you're coding, you'll just end up coding forever and you're not worrying about the time. But thank you so much everyone for joining the live today. I'm gonna try and complete this tomorrow, and then we're gonna work on the drop down. So a quick recap of what we went through tonight. So we went through the drop down article just to show what's the best practice for creating a drop down field, or not even creating, just using a drop down field. So sometimes you have to use a toggle instead of a radio button if you only have two options, like a yes or no, true or false. If you have a, thank you so much for the follow. If you have a drop down field with less than 5 elements inside it, rather use a radio buttons. And then if you have a numeric value, instead of dropping it down and having like 20 different values over there for them to select from, you can just have the stepper like what we have. So that's what we've created. We've showcased it. There's some bugs still because we only worked on it today, but we'll finish that up, adding these three elements across MIH, and then we're going to move on to the drop down field. That's the most important one, I think. Uh, and then once we're done with that, all of our input fields are now catered for inside MIH, and then we can move on to something a little bit more new, a little bit more exciting than just UI and UX. So I'm happy, I'm excited for this. Things are looking good. I was going to release MIH version 1.1.9 today. I was going to send it for review today, but uh, I would rather have the drop down fields and the toggles and inputs, have all of those input fields completed, and then give it to you guys so that you don't have a just disjointed experience inside MIH. So that's what we're going to do. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining the live this evening. We're going to be live again tomorrow, same time, 7 p.m. And we normally run for about an hour, maybe just over an hour. And yeah, we'll see you there tomorrow. Thank you so much, and let's keep working hard, Mzansi. And now